We couldn't move. Do you understand? We couldn't move off the couch. We could not move. Like, I felt like I was drugged. Like, I deadass was like, you know what? No.
Look at my life, it's lit. Look at my life, it's lit. Yeah. Look at my life, it's lit. Look at my life, it's lit. Yeah. Look at the gang I'm with. Put it on gang, it's lit.
What's popping, Shudu gang? It's a girl Shudu, and I am back with another YouTube video. If you're into my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you for coming back. If you are new to my channel, you hit that subscribe button and become a part of the Shudu gang. Gang. Okay, so for today's video, it's a story time. I haven't done a story time in a while. I don't really like doing story times, but like my friends and I were talking about this and we're like, you know what? This story needs to be heard. Like, it needs to be heard. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the story time. So as you can see by the title, today's story time is about the time we took, I don't know what I'm gonna call this. I actually don't know what I'm gonna call this video. I don't know. But you guys read the title, so you already know what the story is about. So yeah, let's get right on into it. Okay, so basically, okay, let me just jump right on into the story. So it was my friend's birthday. Her birthday was coming up. We'll call her Tapelo for the sake of the story. So Tapelo's birthday was coming up. You know, we're very much excited about it. You know, we hadn't decided what we want to do for Tapelo's birthday because she wanted to do many things, like different things, different ideas. So we hadn't decided on one. And then eventually we decided, you know what, we're going to have a psychedelic picnic. Cool. So we were very excited, you know, like Ben wanted to try some psychedelics. Plus, you know, it's going to be good. It's going to be good vibes, good energies, you know, it's just going to be nice. We already knew Guti, you know, we're very much excited for it. Cool. So Tapelo had made a friend recently, like around that time. Around that time, we'll call her Karabo. So Tapelo had made friends with Karabo, they seemed to be having like a nice bond, a nice friendship. They would do yoga together, morning jogs. It was a vibe. Okay, cool. So Karabo stays in Tapelo's estate, right? So they would always be together. Cool. So this one day, Tapelo's like, oh, you know what? My friend Karabo was like, her birthday's coming up too. Why don't we just do a joint thing? So we're like, okay, what does she want to do for her birthday? She's like, she's getting a house. A guest house. She's booking a guest house with her friends. So she just said, I should bring my friends, you know, we'll bring the stuff and it's gonna be a vibe. So I was like, okay, cool. So me and my other friend, we'll call her Mbali. Okay. So Mbali and I are excited, like, oh, they can't wait to go to Tapelo's birthday. You know, we're gonna meet new people. It's just going to be a vibe. So we were still going to take the psychedelics just at the house this time. It wasn't gonna be like at like botanical gardens or anything like that. You know, we're gonna have like an indoor picnic and then, you know, eventually hold up a vibe as the day goes by. Cool. So we're excited. But fast forward to the day. So my day already started badly because the taxi that I took to get to Mbali's house dropped me off at the wrong place. So already I was very unimpressed. Like, that was already the first sign that that day was just going to be horrific. Cool. So I was really pissed. Like, I was like not feeling it anymore. Like, I was kind of annoyed because I'm like, okay, this taxi driver literally took me for no reason just to drop me off far away from where I'm supposed to get off. Cool. So now we're at Mbali's house. Mbali's mom drops us off at the mall. We go to the Visa to get a nice cute gift for, what's her name? For Tapelo. Cool. Fast forward. Now we're in the cab. Mbali and I are in the cab. So the plan was to meet at, what is it? At Zoo Lake, because Zoo Lake is close to Rosebank. Because she told us that this person doesn't stay far from Zoo Lake, doesn't stay far from Rosebank. So we're like, okay, cool, we'll meet at Zoo Lake then. Cool. So we're going to meet there. Then while we're in the cab, she's like, you know what, let's meet at Bram because we still need to get the stuff. We have to get the psychedelics and everything, you know, because there was no time to get it prior. So we're like, okay, cool, sharp. So Bali and I were a bit skeptical because we were like, okay, Tapelo doesn't know Bram. We know very well that Tapelo doesn't know Bram, so I don't know how this is gonna work. So we're like, okay, maybe the people that Tapelo is coming with no Bram, so she's gonna be safe. Cool. That was not the case. So we get to Bram and I call her, I'm like, where you at? She's like, oh, we're still in the how train. We're gonna get off at Park Station. So I was like, just wait at Park Station, because Park Station, you know what, is Bram basically. We'll come to Park Station and we'll just walk together to where we're getting the stuff. And she was like, nah, it's fine. But like, I'm gonna go Juta Street. So I was like, okay, cool. But where in Juta Street? She hung up. Cool, okay. I'm like, you know what, I'll call her back later. So my friend and I are like by 94 Republic, right? Republic 94. 94 Republic, okay, Republic 94. Whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. So we're there. So now we've been waiting. We don't see these people. So we're like, okay, I'm calling. I'm like, okay, where you guys at? She's like, we don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? She's like, no, thing is, we typed in Juta Street and we just picked the first place that came. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, who in their right mind would do that? Like, imagine if it was at night. Okay, cool. So I'm like, okay, where you at? She's like, I have no idea where I'm at. I'm like, okay, describe what you see, what buildings you see. She's like, there's nothing. I see nothing. I'm like, what do you mean you see nothing? You're in Bram. There's buildings everywhere. So you're definitely seeing something, you know? So I'm like, okay, describe what cars are in front of you. She's now, I don't know, she's just saying weird things. So now I'm getting aggravated because I'm worried about her safety and the safety of the people that she's with, because they also don't know Bram, and Bram is very unsafe. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you actually, yeah. So I'm like, okay, take pictures of where you're at and then maybe I can figure out where guy. She sends pictures. It's an alley. I have no idea where this is. I'm walking around, I'm asking people, do you guys know where this is? Nobody knows where this is. So I'm like, what are we gonna do now? Okay, cool. So then I'm like, you know what, just walk straight. So eventually after like 10-15 minutes we see them, and then cool, we're like, she's like, Garabo, that friend, Garabo gave her the number of the plug. Cool. So we call the plug, Arabic phone. We call again. The person's like, oh, I'm kind of like doing something right now, so rather text me on WhatsApp. Cool. We send a voice note. We're like, oh, we want this and this and that. The person literally did not listen to the voice note. So now I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like, we call you, you say text me on WhatsApp, and then you don't respond. Where's the logic? So we wait 10 minutes, still great tick. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, great tick. So now people, we're in Bram. We're in an unsafe place. People are now carving us. We could get mugged at this point. So I'm like, there's absolutely no ways. Like, we've waited for over 20 minutes. This person is clearly not coming. It's fine. We don't need the psychedelics. It's fine. So this is already disappointment number 2. Like, first of all, it was the taxi thing. Now it's the plug disappointed us. Garabo's plug disappointed us. So I'm like, okay, sharp. Let's just vie at this point, you know? So cool, we're looking at pictures of the house. So this Garabo sent pictures of the house or something like that. So we're like, oh, it looks really nice, you know? Okay, cool. So the location, I think it said Houghton. Yeah, I think it said Houghton or Stanton, I don't know. So we're like, okay, we're gonna let's Uber to the house, because that makes sense at this point. What are we still doing? Because it was late. Like, now it's like past 3 o'clock. I'm still sober. I didn't want to be sober. I would have liked to be a little bit tipsy or something, you know, something. So okay, we taxify. Then while we're in the car, the girl's like, oh no, can you meet at Santon City Mall rather? So we're like, okay, we reroute. Cool, we change the destination, we get there. So according to what we know, this girl has been in Santon for a while now. So tell me why we had to wait for this hand. Why did we have to wait for her? I don't know. Cool, we get to Santon. She's like, oh, I'm at McDonald's. We're walking to McDonald's. I go to McDonald's. Oh, let's meet at the parking lot. We go to the parking lot. Let's meet. I'm like, no ways. There's absolutely no ways. Now we're going up and down Santon Mall. We look psychotic. We're totally big. Like, it's just not cute. It's not cute at this point. Like, it's not cute at this point. It's just a complete mess. So I'm like, yo, call this hand and tell her to meet us by Doppio Zero, at the entrance by Doppio Zero. Cool, they call her, they tell her that. Cool. Tell me why we waited like 10-15 minutes for this person. Like, were you incenting more or not? Apparently she was taking pictures or something like that. Okay, could you not say that though? Like, I don't understand what's with the miscommunication. Already her plug disappointed us, and now we were going up and down looking for her. Like, I was just unimpressed at this point. Okay, cool. She comes, it's her, this other Han, and 3 guys. Apparently the one guy is like popular or something on Twitter. I had no idea who he was. Cool. So, okay, so now Mbali and I are having a chat, like our own like side little chat. And we're like, wow, like we didn't think they like this. Like, they don't seem like the type of people that Tapelo would hang around. So we're like very confused, like how does this friendship even work? But okay, let's mice. Plus they also didn't seem like our type of people, but we might. Cool. So Karabo is like, yo, okay, here's the address, let's vibe. Cool. We had 2 separate cars. We get to the place. Tell me why this place is not a house. We were told we're going to a house. That's what I knew. That's what I prepared for, that we're going to a house. Tell me why we arrived and it's apartment buildings. Okay, cool. I'm confused as to why it's apartment buildings, because we were told it's a house. We're going to a guest house. A house. Okay? Why are we now in a gated apartment place? Like, why are we here? So I'm like, okay. This Karabo hand is clearly a flop, because now her plug flopped us, and now we were promised the house. This is not a house, this is apartment buildings. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm very much confused, right? But all I want is to just go in. I just want to enter, you know. I just want to chill at this point. I just want to bloom, you know. Cool. So I'm wondering, why are we still outside? Like, why are we still outside? Then Karo comes. She keeps mentioning a 1.2. 1.2 ew. She mentions it in a sly way. Like, she just, like, she's not direct about it. You just hear 1.2 and you're like, okay, am I the only one who heard 1.2? So I asked them, like, Karabo, nzekutla o mention 1.2. Ki 1.2 ya e. Ki 1.2 ya e. A room is 1.2. An apartment, what, for 4 people is 1.2. So I look at Tapelo. I look at Karabo. I look at Tapelo. I'm like, Tapelo. I was just like a 1.2. So about halos. I was told to bring friends, bring a vibe. That's what I was told. That's what I was told. That was all I was told. I was not told anything about 1.2. God was like, no, but I told you. Ha. So I'm like, this guy like, she's just so messy. Already we had, like, her plug disappointed us. We had to wait for her at Sandton City, and now it's this. I'm like, this girl is just a mess. Clearly she's just a mess. Like, she's just a mess of a person. Like, I was just so unimpressed with her. Cool. So I'm like, okay guys, so renta chalete, because really renta 1.2. Some people don't want to take out money. They're like, we can't take out money, that was not planned, which I understand. I completely understand. We were not told. We were told now on the spot. So obviously nobody wants to take out money, because this is not money. Like, what if no plan is for something else, which I completely understand. Cool. So we're like, oh, I forgot. Prior to that, right? So we were telling Karaboguti, oh, her plug didn't pull through, so we didn't get the stuff. And then her friend that she was with, she was like, oh guys, don't worry, I've got edibles. Hey. Did she not charge us for the edibles? It makes no sense. It's like, I'm like, oh, they didn't bring food, and I'm like, oh guys, don't worry, we bought pizza and we bought like some fries and stuff, and then I charged them 10 rand per slice or something like that. Like, that's so weird. So she charged us 70 bucks per edible. So I'm like, okay, why did you say it like that then? Why did you say it like you were helping us out if you're gonna charge us? Cool, whatever. Fast forward back to the story. So I'm like, guys, okay, so they don't want to take out money. So I'm like, guys, we can just leave. Do you understand? Do you actually understand that we can just buy? We can just request and buy. They can't stop us. What are they going to do? Hold us back? Oh, it's 5 against 5. Come on. So they don't want to buy. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what you want to do, because y'all don't want to take out the money and now you don't want to buy. So what is the solution at this point? I don't know what the solution is. unless if you live on such a lit. So I'm like, okay. Oh, and then so there's 10 of us, right? They said it's 4 people per apartment. So we have a problem of 2 people. Let's say we take out the 1.2, we still have a problem of 2 people. Karabo comes to us and she's like, oh no, we'll go in, and then 2 people from your group can go and chill at McDonald's or something, and then we'll figure out a way to sneak us in. Sneak us in how? Sneak us in how? This place has security everywhere. The other entrance, you have to have an access card to enter. So how are you sneaking us in, babe? Like, I don't understand. I did not get what you're saying. So she's like, oh no, we'll just go inside, and then once we're inside, we'll find someone and bribe them with a bottle or a 6-pack or something, and then they'll fetch you at McDonald's and enter with y'all. Bribe them with what? Our alcohol. You are so funny. You know, if maybe she said 1 person from our group and 1 person from her group, then we all would have worked together to get those people in. But she's like dismissing 2 people from our group. She's like, we'll y'all can figure out a plan. I'm like, it's the audacity for me. Cool. So eventually nobody wants to take out the money. So I'm like, okay guys, we're leaving. Then she's like, she comes to us and she's like, cancellation fee is 1.2. So I'm like, whether we stay or go, 1.2 needs to come out. So what is the plan here? What is the actual plan here? So now I'm like, okay, no, there's no ways. And then they're like, okay, since it's 10 of us, 2 people need their own room, and it's 900 rand for a room or whatever for 2 people. So all in all, she wants us to cough up 2.1 on the spot. I'm like, no ways. Like I was in such disbelief. I was like, there's no ways this is happening. Like there's no ways. And I was mad on Tapelo's behalf because I'm like, this girl is literally ruining Tapelo's birthday. We could have had our own thing, like as we planned initially. She was the one who made Tapelo cancel her plans and make this joint thing, and then this happens. Like it's just quite the mess. Do you get what I'm saying? So I was very pissed. I was very annoyed, and already so many things had already gone wrong earlier on in the day. So I'm like, cut the cameras, somebody better release the cord, because this is not funny anymore. So cool. I'm like, you know what, this security. So I go to the security. I'm like, I explain the situation. He's like, you're gonna have to speak to the receptionist. So he gives me the receptionist's number. I talk to her on the phone. She's like, she's coming out. She comes out. I explain the whole story. The receptionist lady is like, oh babe, don't worry, you don't have to pay cancellation fee. There's no need for you to pay cancellation fee. So I'm like, oh, so Karabo is just full of lies. Basically, she was just trying to get money from us to accommodate her friend, because I couldn't buy 5. So anyways, one of them was not going to be able to enter. So I'm like, so this was all an elaborate plan, because 1, she failed to mention this 1.2 to Tapelo prior to this day. 2, she told us for cancellation fee is 1.2. She was saying that 2 of our friends are going to have to blow outside at McDonald's while they all go in and only 3 of us come in. Do you get what I'm saying? Like everything was suited for them and not for us. So I was just so annoyed. I go to her and I'm like, the receptionist lady said that I don't have to pay 1.2. We don't have to pay 1.2. She's like, oh really? Thank you for talking to her. Hey. So then they're like, oh okay, cool, but then what's gonna happen with our one friend? I'm like, oh, you didn't care about our friends, our 2 friends. Why are you asking us about your friend? She's like, okay, what is it? What did she say? Oh, I was like, oh babe, you know what? Maybe your friend can go and sit at McDonald's and you guys will find a way to sneak them in. That's what she said for us. So she can do the same for the friend. Cool. So now at this point, we are leaving. We are scot-free. We're out. We are, yeah, thanks. Understand? We're like, we're gonna go to Tapelo's and just get littered up to Tapelo's, because at this point, this day was a complete joke. It's like 5 o'clock and yeah, nothing has happened. So we're like, okay, cool, we're leaving. As we leave, we see Karabo's brother, because one of the guys that she came with was her brother. But brother, go to this other, I think Investec building. So basically Karabo told her brother to go and wait. Mind you, her brother took out money, the 1.2 for them, for her group. He took out money and she's telling her brother to go and blow him while her friends come in. So clearly we are nothing. If she doesn't care about her brother, she most definitely doesn't care about us. So I'm like, this girl is so selfish. I could not believe. I was like, wow. No, more long you meet people, hey? In life you meet people. You will meet people. So we're now talking about this, like, this girl is absolutely psychotic. Like, she's so selfish. Like, that's kind of psychotic behavior. Cool. We decided to walk to McDonald's because we're starving at this point. We're starving. We're hungry. So we decided to walk to McDonald's. We eat. We chow. After we chow, we divide the edible in 4, right? So the one person we were with, like, she's not gonna take the edibles. So we divided into 4. We take, cool. So then I need to reheat bottles. So we haven't drank anything. We're very much sober. So we put like a little bit of gin, some put vodka in there, McFizz. So we're just sipping on that as we wait. Cool. We decided we're gonna taxify to Hyde Park and buy some dank because we're gonna buy from our usual dealer. Cool. So we taxify to Hyde Park. When we get to Hyde Park, so prior to that, I called my mom by mistake. So this weekend in particular, I was home alone with my siblings, right? So I made the mistake of calling my mom. Now my mom called me back and she's like, why'd you call? I was like, no, it was a mistake. She's like, oh, okay, cool. When you get home, please give your brother the phone. I need to tell him something. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I was planning on sleeping out and not sleeping home. And now she's telling me that, babe, you have to go home because I'm trying to talk to your brother. So I'm like, damn, what a day. I'm like, this is like the cherry on top of the icing because what a day. Now literally my day is like boring, like it's gone, like nothing can happen now. So they are like, so we're like, okay, you know what, cool, whatever. We get to Hyde Park. I buy dank because Tapelo is a stoner, like she loves weed. So I was like, you know what, babe, I'm gonna buy you the big bag because this has been such a horrible day for you. Like, your birthday situation has been ruined by this dumb girl who's clearly not your friend. So yeah, I bought her dank, I bought for myself, and then we parted ways. So Mbali was leaving with me, and then the other 2 people were leaving with Tapelo. Cool. We divided the alcohol in half, shared it equally, and then we vibe. Cool. While we're in the cab, I can feel Horen. No, I feel a bit funny, yeah? I feel a bit, funny. I'm like, okay, Bali, how do you feel? She's like, I'm also feeling a bit, interesting. I'm like, do you think it's the edible? We're like, yeah, most definitely the edible. By the time we got home, do you understand? Like, do you understand when someone's like, they felt paralyzed? Yeah, no. Like, everything felt heavy. Like, I thought I was dying. Like, you know, there's been instances where I've been like high, and I thought like, you know what, this is the end. But that day, no. Everything felt heavy. I felt like I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. Talking was such a mission. Guys, like, everything felt heavy. I felt paralyzed. Like, yeah. Mbali too. Mbali could barely move. She was just sitting like this. Literally, she was just sitting on the couch. So I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe we need some food, you know? So I order some seafood, we chow. So the plan was to vibe, you know? Cool, I need some home. My mom has already spoken to my brother. My sister, when she comes back, the plan is to vibe because we're going somewhere with her friends. We couldn't move. Do you understand? We couldn't move off the couch. We could not move. Like, I felt like I was drugged. Like, deadass was like, you know what? No, those brownies were laced. It was not just weed. It was something else. Like, everything. Like, guys, do you understand? All that was left was just for us to collapse and marry. Actually, I literally was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to tell my parents? Or what are they going to tell my parents? Like, I was so scared. Like, I was so scared. My sister comes, she's like, hey, you guys, what happened? Like, what did you take? Like, why do y'all look like this? Like, we tell her the whole story, and she's like, so you guys are not gonna come with? So she ended up leaving, went to wherever she's going, and we're like, you know what, maybe we just need to sleep. The following day we had diarrhea, and not diarrhea, joker, like horrific diarrhea, and I thought it was just me. Then the week prior, like after, I don't know why I said prior, the week after, we all linked up and we were talking about it, and we were like, Tabitha was like, bruh, we couldn't, like, she's explaining her experience, we're explaining our experience, literally it was the exact same thing, and we came to the conclusion that something else was in those brownies, because the way we were, we've all had edibles before, and never have we ever felt that way. Do you get what I'm saying? So I was like, so we came to the conclusion that, you know what, that thing had something besides weed, because the way we were, I feel like I can't even explain it, you know. I feel like the way I'm explaining it sounds like, you know, it wasn't that deep. I literally thought it was the end. I thought I was losing my life. I was like, bruh, yeah, no, Shudu, here you messed up. God is like, yeah, I'm taking you, my child. It's time for us to meet in heaven. So yeah, that's the story. I think there was some laxative in that thing too, because it's the fact that we all had diarrhea, not just me and Bali. No, together we had diarrhea. So that was literally the worst day ever. Yeah, I just felt like I should share that story because it's such an insane story. Obviously I couldn't like go in depth into everything because I don't want the video to be too long, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's how we got drugged. That's how we took the story of how we took laced brownies. If you enjoyed that story, please do give this video a huge thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed and you made it this far, please do subscribe. Please do hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. There's some really cool content on the way. I have some special things planned, you know, for the rest of November and December, you know what I'm saying? So please do subscribe and become a part of the Shudu gang. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. On Instagram is _Shudu, and on Twitter is Shudu_Hillary. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.